What's good? What's good? This video is going to be a follow-up to yesterday's video, and if you have not watched yesterday's video, I would recommend you watch it, because I think that video had a more potent message than this video is going to have. This is just me talking about my life. Yesterday's video, I was trying to speak about sort of the universe and philosophy, specifically the Hermetic principle of rhythm. And I talked about how life has seasons and life flows. There are ups and downs, and sometimes it's harmonious and sometimes it's hideous. And my goal was to get into a good rhythm of playing some blackjack. And so I did get into an okay rhythm yesterday. I made like $80 in 2 hours, and I was like, hey, you know what? Let's call it a day. I'm up. I don't want to... I just don't want to have to spend hours at the table all the time. There will be a point, but not right now. So I left after only 2 hours early in the morning, and I was like, hey, let's go do some delivery work. Because $80, that's good, but that ain't enough. Not for one day of work. And you might hear a lawnmower. It's so funny. I'm going to pause real quick. Okay, and we're back. Literally right when I sat down to record this video, I heard them start, and then they stopped, and I thought they were done, and I was wrong. And it's just funny talking about flow. It disrupted my flow a little bit. However, when I identified that my flow was disrupted, I just said, chill, man, just chill for a minute. And I literally closed my eyes, and I just tried to let all the tension from my jaw and my chest and my neck go. And then Loki, my Boki, jumped up here, and all was good. So in going with the flow, you need to understand how to handle disruption. And that's part of what being flexible, as I'm displaying my inflexibility. Oh, they're starting up again. Hold on. God damn it. Okay, they're gone. Oh my. I just had a fantastic 15 minutes of stillness. In that 15 minutes, I had several insights, and I had some connections with my body and some healing direction for how to address some issues. It was just like, it was wild. And we were talking about flexibility and flow. The moment called for me to just be still. Let the mowers do their job, and I'll just be still. And it was fantastic. A lot of people share a Bruce Lee meme. He didn't say it. It's just a general sort of Eastern thought. But, be like water. Water will form to the object that it's put in, so odd-shaping vases and whatnot in cups. But then also, water can be powerful when directed, when focused, like a river. Think of the Grand Canyon. I've never been there, but I want to go there someday. And so, my flow, I found some rhythm, and I hope I can continue that flow. Yesterday I made $80 at the casino, and now that's not enough money, right? I consider myself a gig worker, and so gig workers generally have targets for how much they want to make in a day, whether it's, $100 or $500. It's different for every gig worker. But for me personally, I'm just trying to make about $200 a day without pushing myself too hard right now. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more, sometimes I don't make it, all that stuff. That's like my general goal. So I made $80 at the casino, and I was like, all right, cool, let's go do some deliveries and make some bucks. And there was a point at about 4 or 5 p.m., and I was like, damn, dude, I might make $300 today. That would be cool. And that would be additionally cool because that's what my van payment is. It's $310 a month. And I was like, man, the idea of making my van payment in one day is really cool. Partially playing blackjack and then partially doing delivery work. And I just want to throw this out there real quick because I'm going to talk about blackjack a little bit more. I do not condone gambling. I do not condone degenerate behavior like that. However, if you watch any of my old videos, you'll see a theme where I am disappointed in myself because I do feel like I'm an intelligent, competent, youngish man, and I'm just wasting my potential. I have been unable to, in this economy, find like a meaningful way to use my trying to generate money. And so I, randomly saw a blackjack video talking about how you can beat the casino, and I was like, holy shit, could I use my brain to do this? And at this point in my blackjack career, I've played 55 hours, and I have won $5. Like, I'm a net $5 winner. And I just thought that was a cool little sequence of numbers. But that's for profit. And for me, I think that's phenomenal, because I've seen in a lot of circles that, once you hit about 200 hours, that's when you should be, like, serious and ready to go. And so I still feel like I'm in the intro phase, the learning phase of and I don't even want to call it a career. It's something I'm going to do for a few years to make a few bucks so I can buy some land. Seriously. I'm 37, and I started this at 37. It at no point in my life was a desire of mine to be a gambler. I have never desired to do it. And so when I talk about my blackjack, I'm doing it from a perspective of, like, me trying to accomplish an objective, not from me, like, talking about, oh, my life is cool and whatnot, because I don't think you should do this, unless you are smart and wasting your potential. And so that was yesterday. I didn't quite get to $300. I didn't quite make my van payment. It was like $290 something, but I was pretty stoked. And then today, I woke up pretty early, came to hang out with my guy Loki, and there's been a casino a little, like, 30 minutes away from here that I've been wanting to go try. It's a new one. And so I was like, dude, today's the perfect day. He and I had a great walk this morning. I was like, let's go check it out. And my plan was to probably lose $100, because different casinos have different games, different rules, and everything. This particular game was a double deck, meaning only 2 decks are used, whereas I've been playing a 6-deck shoe, and so in double deck you get into good situations more frequently. It's wild, and so I was going to just anticipate losing $100. And this game also, you touch your cards. I've never played a game where you actually touch your cards. This one you do. It's so weird, but it makes the counting harder, because you don't see other players' cards, and it's a whole different sequence, and I knew it was going to be different, so that's why I went in expecting to lose $100. And yet, after an hour and a half of play, I ended up winning $150. So I bought in for $100, and I left with $258 in just an hour and a half of play, literally. And I wasn't, like, I was tracking okay, but I was like, dude, I'm going to go home, I'm going to nap, because I'm a little tired, I need to check on Loki, I need to run some errands. But now that I know how the game is played, I can just sit and think about it and practice, and there's little tweaks to how I do things, or I'm going to do things. And once I get that really solid, I think this is going to be the first casino I ever get trespassed from. Probably not this week, but I'm not ruling it out. And so what happens is, or maybe not trespassed, but we'll say backed off. In blackjack, if they kind of figure out that you're counting cards and doing well, they will back you off. They'll just say, hey, you can't play them anymore. And so sometimes they do it like a full trespass where you just literally can't go on the property anymore. And then other times it's like you just gotta learn shifts and dealers and pit bosses, right? So if one pit boss backs you off, you just gotta avoid that pit boss. And then this is where it might come in handy to make friends with dealers, which is what I'm trying to do. I toke more than I should. Toke means tip. But anyways, I was going to say one more thing and then wrap up the video talking about going back tonight. So I played today, and winning that much that quick, I don't think I got any heat. Heat is like the official term for like when pit bosses are monitoring your play, but I think I may have brought some attention to myself. So pre-heat, just like he's betting a lot more than he was 5 minutes ago, but I just no numbers, it's not a big deal yet. But let's say I go in there tonight with $300 and I start throwing around $100 bets, which is not advisable. The only time I would do that is if I was up and the count was high and whatnot. I wouldn't go in with $300 and start with a $100 bet. That's absurd. But anyways, I'll stop rambling about that. I'm actually going to do some interviews this week for the channel, so tune in for those. And like I said, I do not support gambling, but I do support you doing what's called striking while the iron is hot. In wrapping up with the theme of, throw, there's an expression, strike while the iron is hot. So if you're making a sword and you're blacksmithing, if you let the metal cool down, you're not going to be able to form it, and it's not going to come out properly, right? So you gotta urgency, and when the time is right, and it's at the right time, and the right time, my iron is hot, and I need to strike, and I need to hustle. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. The ultimate objective is to build the new Earth, but we need resources, which is why I'm doing what I'm doing. It is very unconventional and unorthodox, but hey, we gotta do what we gotta do. Thank you very much. Let's do this together. Let's build the new Earth. Much love.